Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're counting down our picks for the most interesting medals brought onto the Antiques Roadshow.
It's £250,000.
Wow.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 8. Expedition Medal.
I was given these by my grandmother, who is this lady here.
This guest brought in a number of items given to her by her grandmother, who was once the fiancée to Charles Royds, a heroic figure who participated in the British National Antarctic Expedition. Amongst these items were photographs, ribbons, and most importantly, a medal.
This tiny thing over here in the corner, now that is what gets me very excited.
But you may be surprised as to the reason why he was given this elaborate medal. It was not actually for his work during the Discovery Expedition, but rather for playing sports. That's right, when the expeditioners weren't working during those 3 years, they enjoyed their time in the Antarctic playing at sporting events.
Sledding, skating, skiing, and shooting, and maybe few or four. So, I mean, they must have taken out 5 or 6. This is one of them.
With little precedent to go by due to its rarity, John Baddeley surmised it was worth around £10,000.
I think Granny would have been very surprised at that one.
Number 7. A Heroic Rescue. This was the 1914 Christmas tin that just kept on giving.
Then we pulled out a World War II Royal Navy Distinguished Service Medal.
Not enough can be said for the first few medals that we were introduced to from this collection, showing its original owner's involvement in both the First and Second World Wars. But the cherry on top was this medal, given to those who were on the boat, the Carpathia. You may recognise that name, as it was the ship that went out to rescue survivors of the Titanic.
The Carpathia Titanic Medal.
Yeah.
In all the years I have been collecting medals, and I have been collecting medals for maybe, well, it's 45 years now. I started when I was a reasonably small lad, when I was 6. This is the only one of these I've ever held.
John Cargill was there on that fateful day, lifting people from the water into the lifeboat. To do all that and then go on to serve in 2 world wars truly speaks of his character.
With the Titanic Medal, £10,000.
Number 6. Dickin Medal.
I don't think I've ever held a Dickin medal before.
You may be forgiven for thinking that it's only our species that are granted medals for their efforts during wartime. However, you would be wrong. Dickin medals are awarded to animals who accomplished extraordinary tasks. And this one that was brought onto the roadshow actually belonged to a pigeon.
It's important to remember that the Dickin medal goes on being awarded. Animals are still doing extraordinary things in wartime.
That's right, this brave little bird escaped a plane crash during World War II and then went on to fly home. In doing so, it helped identify where and when the crash occurred, potentially saving a survivor. Even more shocking is that these medals actually fetch a pretty tidy sum. This one was valued at £10,000.
He was a wonderful pigeon.
He was.
You could say the most expensive pigeon ever. But
Number 5. Ulster Rising. The Irish War of Independence was first inspired by the 1916 Easter Rising, in which Irish Republicans rebelled against British rule.
You have 2 sets. Who did they belong to?
One of the guests' family had participated in that event in Dublin and as such was awarded with medals. The medals, which were passed down generations, belonged to the guest's grandmother's aunt and uncle for combat.
The medals themselves came out in 1941.
These are incredibly rare items to find, so it was no surprise that expert Mark Smith was left with his jaw on the floor. Furthermore, medals given to women were even more rare. With this in mind, they were given a price tag of around £20,000.
Jeepers.
Number 4. FA Cup medals. Before retiring, Newcastle United player Bobby Cowell had quite an impressive career as a defender.
He played for Newcastle 1943 to 1955. That's when, unfortunately, he had to retire.
His grandson brought in a selection of memorabilia to the roadshow, including a shirt, ball, and cheque. Most impressive of all was the FA Cup medals, awarded to winners of the years 1951, 52 and 55.
This is a time when Newcastle were really up there.
Raj Bisram was so excited to see them, he valued them at a whopping £25,000 and encouraged the owner to try to get them on display at St James's Park. because of their major cultural significance.
Very nice.
Number 3. An impressive selection. Sir Hugh Watts earned a wide array of medals for his service to Britain. We had the treat of looking at these when a family member brought them onto the show.
So this is someone who has had a rather spectacular career.
From a 1939 Defence Medal to a 1953 Coronation Medal, it was clear that Watts was quite remarkable. But we actually got to learn of the harrowing responsibilities he had to earn such awards. As it turns out, he was tasked with defusing letter bombs sent to the British government during World War II.
Bomb disposal, but very specific. Very specific. In that he's looking at letter bombs.
He actually witnessed what such a device could do to people and decided he never wanted anyone to suffer the same fate.
He saw what these things could do to people.
The guest, of course, insisted that despite the high valuation of £8,000, the medals were not for sale. Number 2. D-Day medals.
There's a military cross, which is really only 2 away from a Victoria Cross. But it has this on the ribbon, the bar. Now that means he was awarded the Military Cross twice.
When the expert tells you these are the best World War II medals he's ever come across, you know they must be important. These stunning selection of medals each have inspiring stories to tell, but what instantly caught Mark's eye was the one given to the first men who landed on D-Day. This guest's great-uncle was actually the first man on June Beach on D-Day, who then led the liberation of Caen.
D-Day, 6th of June, 1944, Mike Green, Juno Beach.
The medals even include the name, date, time and location, further immortalising his bravery. The story of Lieutenant Colonel Edward Maxwell Morrison is one of legend.
In the hand-to-hand fighting, we devastated the post, and although we killed many, many more surrendered.
Number 1. Victoria Cross.
There is really only one medal which every medal collector craves to have in their collection.
Never have we seen expert Mark Smith this excited to see something on the show before. This guest's father was a Sikh soldier known as Nayak Ayan Singh, who was awarded for his bravery in the Second World War. During a battle in Burma, now Myanmar, Nayak exemplified bravery many times, including when he valiantly ran to Japanese camps and took them down single-handedly.
Our tanks had now moved up and come under fire, but Nayak Ayan Singh, who had sustained several wounds, again rushed forward and annihilated a Japanese anti-tank gun crew, capturing the weapon single-handed.
As such, he was given the Victoria Cross, made of bronze and worth a whopping £250,000.
One of the things that she said was, I do not want this medal to be made of something precious, because it's not about the medal, it's about the deed behind the medal. That's the important thing.
His son was beyond proud.
They are some of the most iconic things that we have in this country.
Does your family have any medals with fascinating stories? Let us know in the comments below.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.